morning, everybody. Hello, hello. My name is Danilo Acquisto. The IB underpins generative AI as a really key theme for the year. And I'd like to call up onto stage a very, very important person who's also one of our speakers for today later on. Her name is Sue Little. She is the head of the IB Education Council. Just to tell us a little bit more about what project the Education Council is up to this year. So that kind of informs how we're going to handle the insights as well. Sue, nice to have you here. Do you want to fly through what the council's up to?
Quick recap of our 4 key projects. This is number 1, our Actionable Insights series, covering all about digital skills development for our industry to future-proof what we know is happening now and what we expect to happen over the next 12 months in the specific focus on generative AI. Number 2 is the Transformation Network. This is about connecting our juniors at grassroots level, at school, the future creatives, the future digital experts with the giants already in the system. Our 3rd project is the Front Row Initiative. This is all about haloing the top 10 to 15 generation industry greats by giving them a literal position in the front row at our events, at our award ceremonies, and giving them access to seeing what is out there so they can be truly inspired. And then the 4th project is the Thriving Graduate Series. This is about nurturing the generations that are now entering into the workforce. They're graduates, and they might need a bit of help understanding the world of professional life in the advertising industry. So just a shout out again, please get hold of me and my team on the IB website or just connect on LinkedIn.
Let's jump in with our first speaker for today. He is in fact going to be our keynote address. Ntokozo Nhlanhla is currently the Executive Creative Director at Digitas Liquorice.
Thanks, Danilo. Thanks for the intro. The reality is AI has been around for a while and it's been sitting in artificial machine learning. But what really drove the real jump in the last year is like text generation and image generation. And that's kind of more human facing, more consumer facing, which kind of made it more user-friendly in that sense. So hence the big buzz and how we're using it. So what we're really doing with it, it works in 3 phases, right? So there's the human bit, which would be yourself. Second phase is the AI itself would reach into its database and kind of generate an image. So the industries that this plays out really is all these other industries. So entertainment, art and design is where we really focus on for this slide for this presentation. Thank you.
Nailed it, Ntokozo. Mia Roets, she's the Experience Design Director at Joe Labs.
Our customers at the moment really are looking for more than a one-size-fits-all experience. They want something richer and more relevant and a connected customer journey. Let's just look at the difference between personalization and hyper-personalization, where personalization really refers to gathering historical data to create segments with different offers, and hyper-personalization relies on real-time data and using Gen AI along with predictive analytics to serve very individual offers and experiences to individual customers at the right time, which means that it could be a different experience for the same person at different times of the day or month, depending on the data that we have gathered. How do we utilize Gen AI for hyper-personalization? Well, it's really gathering that big real-time data, as I've mentioned, along with our Gen AI, to really drill down into data analytics to create dynamic content and recommendation engines. And in the end, that offers us things like personalized product recommendations, tailored messages, marketing offers, ads. And we have to, of course, look at a few challenges. Access to data, massive challenge. We're looking at cookieless world coming up. Processing power, we know we need enormous amounts of computing power to handle all this data. Human resources, ironically, we still need humans to train these AIs, at least until we reach singularity. Erosion of competitive premiums. If everyone's got their own specific little value and offered to them, where is the comparison that companies can use? And then a term that Aaron White calls the deep isolation. Again, if everyone's got their own very individualized experience, it becomes very hard to share that experience. You can't come to the water cooler at the office anymore and share experiences about a specific offer or TV show if everyone's got one that's so tailored to them and so individualized. Thanks.
Introduce you to Keenan Harduth, the CEO at Mirror is next.
So, I mean, ultimately, they say in the future, let's just get stuck into it. They say in the future will be 2 types of people who know how to use AI and people who don't. So you may have heard the phrase data is the the new oil, and it really just means that data is now a commodity. So when we talk about data as the new oil, we're really saying that people who can curate and control data, it really gives them power. There's economic power for people who control it. And so data literacy is one of the most critical skills for the future. And data literacy really is the ability to read, work with, analyze, and argue with data. AI can help us get from data all the way to wisdom and actionable insights. And how AI allows us to do that is through machine learning. And it's kind of a key driver of AI applications, including natural language processing, image recognition, generative AI, and even recommendation systems. Let's look at some of the benefits that AI has from an analytics perspective. The first one is data preparation. Next, we have pattern recognition. Another way is predictive analytics, which is, I think, one of the most powerful opportunities. Then there's natural language processing, and then automated insights and reports. So thanks very much.
Speaker for today, Dan Neville, the co-founder of Cerebral Circuit.
And it's now 2024, aka 6 AI LLM, because it's now 6 years since we've had large language models and things have changed. So we've got three fundamental big changes that I want to highlight. I think the first thing is we now have no predetermined responses. We can actually talk like a brand. And here's an example on the side of an AI that is built to be a fan supporter for the Sharks. We can start to do things like AI integrations. And this means giving the AI access to things like APIs and databases. We can also do things like chat where the user is. And we can also start giving it things to access like live data sets, context windows, and we can start enhancing it with multimodal models. So I kind of want to leave with just a little bit of a rough template of how I see kind of the future, sort of mapping out in my mind of where we're kind of seeing AI really pop up from this direct consumer engagement perspective. So we've got consumers, and I think you're going to start seeing AI pop up in a lot more places, integrated into email, WhatsApp, web, just to name a few. But I also think there's a huge space for AI to support internal teams on the back end side.
Who is an award-winning digital marketer who has spent over 15 years in the industry and 7 years in higher education.
Higher education and professional skills development have changed over the past, I would say, since 4 years, since COVID just escalated the change and adoption of online learning. So the one driver that we see is the digital native, and everything is now centered around the customer, and everything is about being and putting their needs first. And we need to do that in the terms of education as well. Then we've got the globalization of learning. So the learning has now become more accessible, and it transcends geography, and that can never be a prevention from us upskilling ourselves even further. Then the number one thing for me is lifelong learning, particularly in our sector. And then obviously the need for personalization, which Mia covered in detail in terms of the AI sector, but also the learning sector. Modern students, we demand this personalized approach. Ask ourselves, how do we intend to keep pace with this relentless march of progress and the rapid evolution in the realm of this artificial intelligence that we're seeing now? Structured and supported learning. Then there's structured and self-paced learning. But last but not least is the always-on learning approach. And my tips to you is to come back here and follow the IAB SA Education Council's Actionable Insights series, where we'll be going to cover this one session every month. So my tips to you is to start curating lists of niche experts within the AI space that speak to your niche. Strongest tip to leave you off with here is to make sure that when you save content that comes into your feeds, your mailbox, your LinkedIn feed, whatever it might be where you've signed up, get into the habit of saving it, because you're not going to consume it there and then because you're working and doing other things. But make sure that you set aside time, at least half an hour a day or a few hours once a week, to consume that content and keep abreast of the rapid change and speed of AI.
A big thank you once again to all of our sponsors, Biz Community, Ornico, Masa, Everlytic, Romework. Look out for our next in-person event at Romework coming up in Cape Town next month. We look forward to seeing you there. Do follow the IAB on all of its social and sign up for our newsletters. Sending you guys lots of love. Good luck and enjoy the Easter weekend. Not too much chocolate, please.